Most of you probably have a safari bucket list, like visiting a famous national park, seeing a natural spectacle like the Great Migration, or even finding a specific animal species. But this video goes beyond the obvious. Join me as I visit those lesser known places that have been on my radar for a while now, and where I know you'll have an epic wildlife experience. This is Beyond the Bucket. This week, I'm in one of South Africa's most beautiful and productive birding hotspots, Magoebaskloof, a lush mountain pass between the towns of Scenic and Heidelberg in the Limpopo province. This area feels more like a tropical rainforest than the typical South African bushveld found all around it, with towering indigenous forests, crystal clear mountain streams, miles and miles of stunning trails, and of course some of the country's most magnificent birds. My base for 4 days was the Magoebaskloof Birders Cottages. The turnoff is opposite the Magoebaskloof farm stall, and from there it's a short but breathtaking drive along a winding forest road that's well signposted and that takes you all the way down into the heart of the kloof itself. They've got 3 units to choose from, and I was booked into the one that's furthest along the road, Narina Cottage. It is Wednesday, the 12th of November, and I'm ready for my first afternoon of bird watching here on Drakensberg Farm, where the Magoebaskloof birding cottages are located. Now, my goal for this week is to capture as many forest bird species as possible, and I'm going for quality over quantity. No bum shots, no silhouettes, and no out of focus shots. I'm looking for photos that are sharp and clear. And that's no easy task because these forest species are typically small, very shy, and they spend a lot of time up in the canopy as well. Now, my camera of choice is my trusty Canon R6 II with a 100 to 500 millimeter RF lens because it's nice and light and very versatile. And then my bird app of choice is the Firefinch app because it's got beautiful plates, plenty of photographs, and then most importantly, a lot of great bird calls as well. If you want to learn more and get a massive discount as a first-time user, go and check out the link that I've added in the video description. Now, before I came here to the cottages this morning, I spent a little bit of time in the woodbush forest just to get my eyes in, and I already got some photographs of bar-throated impala's, yellow-streaked greenbull, as well as white-starred robin, which is a great start for our list, but hopefully I'll be able to improve on those in the coming days. Let's go see what we can find. The owner, Mark, sent me a map with all the trails on the farm on it, and there are plenty. And I'm going to head for the flycatcher trail because he says it's a good spot to look for brown scrub robin. Oh, I can hear a Narina trogon up in the forest up there. Apparently there was one at my cottage, Narina Cottage, this morning. The guest who stayed there before me saw it, but that was early this morning, so fingers crossed I'm going to find that in the coming days as well. Just about to hit the flycatcher trail here. This forest is unreal. Check this. Ha! I just saw an orange ground thrush next to the river, but he's on the other side, so I'm doing a little bit of a loop back to see whether or not I can get a little bit closer. I've got a couple of photos, but very far away. Oh, there they stayed. Oh, got it. I got it. Oh, it's not the best shot in the world, but definitely better than the shot I got from across the stream. Oh, come on. Something's very noisy here in front, but I'm not sure what it is. Let's have a look. Oh, there it is, there it is. I got it. It was a chorister robin chat, and it was making a massive racket, but boy, they sit still for so short and then they fly away so quickly. Nice one. Oh wow, that was a great first walk. I am so tired and sweaty now, but I think before I have a shower, I'm just going to spend a little bit of time here around the cottage, just because Mark said someone saw an Arena trogon here this morning. After a fantastic first day of birdwatching, I lit a fire and made myself comfortable on Arena Cottage's veranda, which overlooks a beautiful patch of forest. The Arena trogon was nowhere to be found, but luckily for me, I still had 3 more days to look for it. I got up around 5 a.m., put the kettle on to boil some water, and then headed out to the bird feeding station in front of the cottage. Mark provides a container with some bird seed and peanut butter that visitors can put out whenever they'd like to do some bird watching or photography at the cottage itself. I can't think of a better way to start the morning, and I hardly had enough time to finish a rusk before the first hungry birds arrived. Even though they flew away briefly, I decided to push my luck and crouch down very close to the feeding station, hoping that they'd come back. Luckily, they did. I'm so glad I got up early, and I'm absolutely amazed at how close I can get to this little feeding station in front of Arena Cottage. Manakins, whydahs, white eyes, waxbills, firefinches. I'm literally photographing all these birds from 4 meters away. The flowers in the garden also attracted a busy little southern double-collared sunbird. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm making my way down to the little bird hide. Apparently they feed at 7:30, so I thought I'd get there a little bit earlier so I can set up, and who knows, maybe I get a new species or two. Okay, slight change of plan. I just heard an Arena trogon calling here from the flycatcher trail. Let's see whether I can find it. Okay, it's calling down here. And there it was, sitting high up in the canopy with its back turned towards me, as they often do to hide that striking scarlet belly. And seconds later, it was gone. I would try my best to find another one, but for now I headed down to the bird hide, where Mark puts out food every morning at 7:30. Right, I've just made myself comfortable here in the hide, and Mark has just been down to put out some bird seed, some peanut butter and a banana. So let's see what comes down. Luckily I've got some coffee as well. Like in all photographic hides, I needed a little bit of patience. But not long after Mark had left, the irresistible smell of peanut butter attracted some hungry Cape white eyes.
I can see birds flying. I see children smiling.
The seeds in turn attracted bronze manakins, a tambourine dove, plenty of red-eyed doves, and the beautifully colored lemon dove. Back at Narina Cottage, I took a moment to read through the visitor's book, and I was amazed by what people had seen on the farm. Everything from black-fronted bushshrikes and emerald cuckoos to wood owls and even a red-chested flufftail on the lawn in front of the cottage. Speaking of which, I love Narina Cottage. The first room has a fully equipped kitchen along with a small lounge and fireplace. Next door is an open-plan bedroom with a shower and double bed, as well as extra seating and a separate toilet. There's also an outdoor bath and even a hot tub. As you've seen, it also has a small covered veranda with a table for two and portable braai grid. But there's also a leaf-clad rondavel that serves as the perfect place to hang out and even braai on cold, rainy days. Despite knowing that there were still plenty of bird species I hadn't seen on Drakensberg Farm itself, I decided to explore some other parts of Magoebaskloof in the afternoon. Always keep your eyes peeled for Narina trogons and other specials on the way out, because apparently they have a tendency to show themselves when you least expect it. My first stop was Stanford Lake College on the western edge of Magoebaskloof, where the bird cherry trees sometimes attract Cape parrots. Unfortunately, I had no luck with them, but I did see a magnificently colored African olive pigeon. Next stop was the Magoebaskloof Hotel, the starting point of the Swartbos hiking trail. You start at the top of the kloof and then make your way down into the most spectacular indigenous mist belt forest imaginable. I'll go as far as saying that it's the most beautiful forest I've ever hiked in. But be warned, you have to be fit, because nothing here is flat. I hiked both the Lesode and waterfall trails within the forest, and after a relatively slow start, I managed to capture some great bird photos. When the light finally started fading, I headed back to the Magoebaskloof birders' cottages. That was an epic day. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed it. I'm going to call it a day. They are predicting some rain overnight, so who knows what it's going to look like tomorrow morning, but I'll see you then. The weatherman finally got the prediction right for a change. It has been raining all morning long. But since it's my last full day, I thought, you know what, I have to get out there and at least give myself a chance to find that Narina trogon. It's just past midday, it's drizzling very softly, but it is very slippery underfoot, so I'm going to have to be careful. Just going to take a short walk here around the cottages, see what I can find. Wow guys, this is so beautiful. It feels like I'm walking in Jurassic Park. Check this. I heard trogons, but I just couldn't find them. Then I heard another Narina trogon. But still, the ghost of the forest eluded me. It's getting a little bit dark for photos now, so I've decided to call it a day. But despite losing the first half of the day to the rain, I think it's actually been my most enjoyable session of bird watching and photography. I just love getting into different parts of the forest. I walked the whole river walk, the valley walk. This contour path behind me was so nice to get a little bit of height. And I even spent a little bit of time here between the avocado trees and the orchard, just looking down at the valley below. And I saw a few raptors, saw some parrots. They were a little bit far away to photograph, but so beautiful, so enjoyable. And guess what? I still have one session tomorrow morning. So when you next see me, it'll be our last morning here in Magoebaskloof. I've come back to this amazing vantage point in the orchard where I have this fantastic view of the valley down below. And I only discovered this spot late yesterday afternoon, but I think it might be my favorite one on the whole farm. Because what it allows me to do is to scan the whole forest and the canopy for birds flying over. And this morning I'm really hoping for a crowned eagle. The owner, Mark, has been fantastic, giving me tips every day through WhatsApp. And he told me last night that there is a breeding pair of crowned eagles somewhere up here next to the plantations. So if we're lucky, we're going to see one on the wing. I never saw the resident crowned eagle, but the previous afternoon I got some great photos of a long-crested eagle, first sitting high up in a blue gum tree and then much closer so that you could clearly see its impressive crest. I even got a shot of it flying past me, showing those distinctive white wing patches that's invisible when it's sitting upright in a tree branch. I also got a few great shots of an African harrier hawk flying past, with the misty forest in the background. This morning, however, it had cleared up beautifully, and I found myself being entertained by a troop of hungry Simango monkeys. And then I heard a familiar screeching sound. Cape parrots. At first they were flying miles away and landing on the very tallest trees above me. Every now and again a small group would dash across the valley in front of me, making for some great backlit shots. Finally a couple of them settled in a tree close by, giving me a chance to admire them properly, before they finally flew right over me as if to say goodbye. I can't believe my 3 days here in Magoebaskloof have come to an end, and I can't tell you how much I enjoyed staying at the Magoebaskloof Birders Cottages. It really is just the perfect base from which to explore these amazing forests, and I've left all the booking details in the video description. Now, I thought I'd share some tips with you on how to photograph birds here in the forest, because believe me, it is not easy. Sometimes they literally only sit still for 2 seconds. So I always shot first and ID'd later. You would have seen I hardly ever used my binoculars. So it's important to have a light, versatile lens. My Canon 100-500 worked absolutely perfectly. And then also have good default settings so that you don't have to fiddle around when you see anything. I opted to stay in manual mode with my shutter speed at about a 250th of a second, which is fast enough to freeze the bird when it's sitting still, but also slow enough to let in enough light in these dark forests. And then I had my aperture wide open and my ISO set to a maximum of 12,800 in auto ISO. And even though some of the photos came out quite grainy, I was easily able to fix that in Lightroom. Now, another very important thing is to make sure you get to all the different parts of the forest, because different areas will have different birds. I spent a lot of time in front of the cottage to photograph the little seed eaters. I walked along the rivers and the valleys, but I also got up high to be above the canopy to see things like taracos and raptors that use those higher areas. It's also very important to study up on your forest bird sounds. When I first got here, I heard all these different calls and I had absolutely no idea what I was listening to. So the first night I was here, I quickly went through the bird list and then listened to all the different sounds over and over, and that definitely helped me in these last couple of days. Like I said before, my app of choice is the Firefinch app because they've got amazing sound recordings, and I've left a link to that in the video description as well. Now, the biggest tip that I can give you, if all of this sounds a little bit intimidating and you think to yourself, how am I ever going to find these birds, is to use one of the very highly recommended local guides that use this area and know this area extremely well. The two gentlemen are called David and Paul, and I will leave their details in the description below as well. And they'll basically take you out on a day trip to all the hotspots. They know the calls, they know the birds, they know where the raptors nest, and I can guarantee you, if you spend a day with them, you'll find most of the lifers that you are looking for. The only reason I didn't book one of them is because I really wanted to challenge myself to see whether or not I can find these birds on my own. Now, I found most of them. One or two species did still elude me, like the crowned eagle, the olive and black-fronted bush shrikes, the brown scrub robin, and I only got a very average photograph of a Narina-trogon, but all the more reason to come back in the future. I really hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of Beyond the Bucket. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. And if you have any other suggestions of places to go to, drop that in there as well. I really do appreciate all your support. Now, speaking of which, it's so easy to support the channel. Every like, every comment helps. And I'm also on the road to 100,000 subscribers. So if you enjoyed this video, click that subscribe button with the bell notification on as well. You can also order some African apparel, beautiful t-shirts, caps, and other African-inspired apparel with my discount code. It's almost Christmas time, and I have a 10% discount on everything in the African apparel online store, and they ship worldwide. So go and check out that link that I've also added in the video description. And then last but not least, you can also support me on Patreon if you enjoyed the video. It's basically an online platform that allows viewers like you to support content creators like myself by making a small monthly donation in return for some rewards like early access to my videos, some behind the scenes content, and also mentions in the video for specific donation tiers, with a special shout out to my Pangolin tier patrons like Simon Wakenshaw. I'm going to leave you with some of my best bird photos from this trip. Until next time.